Brilliance Audio presents Ginger Kid, Mostly True Tales from a Former Nerd, by Steve Hofstetter, performed by the author.
I was a pretty happy kid, and then I wasn't. Baseball is not an easy sport to play one-on-one, but my brother Dave and I improvised. We would walk the block to our schoolyard, and one of us would play outfield while the other hit fly balls. Our lives probably would have been easier if we preferred basketball, but we wanted to be baseball players, so we played baseball. Meanwhile, my sister Beth and I would spend most nights dreaming up crazy stories about what our future lives would look like. Sometimes she was a doctor and I was a lawyer. More often, I was a baseball player and she was an actress. Every time we were both rich and not living in a 3-bedroom house with 6 people. And every time, we would laugh. But I was at my happiest when I was in school. I know that sounds strange. What normal kid is happy in school? Don't misunderstand. I looked forward to dismissal and the weekend and summer vacation like everyone else. But when I was a kid, school was good to me. Because school was easy. The first thing that made school easy was the familiarity. I'm the youngest of 4 and from Briarwood, a neighborhood in Queens where teachers work at the same school so long, it's like they're serving time. I imagine a judge pounding a gavel in front of a room full of graying, chalk-covered middle-agers. "You are hereby sentenced to 25 years of glitter-covered hand turkeys," he'd shout, jowls trembling. The teachers would then shuffle back to their respective faculty lounges where they'd be met with a lifetime supply of instant coffee and Rexo sheets and debate whether or not this was better than picking up trash off a highway. All my teachers had taught 3 Hofstetters before me, so I often started the school year being given some sort of in-front-of-the-class responsibility, like passing out reading materials, or helping pronounce students' names. I accepted with an artificial air of reluctance, thereby not losing my street cred, while simultaneously exuding authority. Meanwhile, my sister Beth was just 1 year older than I, so when I was in 5th grade, I knew the 6th graders, and they knew me. That cemented my street cred. There is no greater grade school validation than an older kid saying hello to you in the hallway and meaning it. Something important to know about where I grew up is that Queens is the most diverse county in the country, and Briarwood is the most diverse neighborhood in Queens. There were always 20 to 30 kids who would start the year unable to speak more than a few sentences of English. My closest friends' names were Anant, Jung-hoon, and Chow. We were a real-life Disney Channel show, except we never formed a band. Because of the number of students who didn't speak English, school was easy academically. I had an unfair advantage when it came to homework. The school taught toward the students having the most trouble, so those of us who could speak English natively were rarely pushed. The most academically challenging thing we had to do was trace our hands to draw a turkey. To make school even easier, my siblings were older, and they judged me according to their contemporaries. Sure, some of their classmates were idiots. A boy in Beth's class once interrupted the sex ed presentation to announce he'd do whatever he could to avoid getting his period. But my siblings were smart, and their friends were smart, and they demanded the same of me. I was already learning long division in the 2nd grade because David would think I was an idiot if I didn't. The first time I understood my advantages, I was 11 years old. One of the new teacher's aides was being led around the class by a student named Pampas. Really, there were very few kids named Mike or Sarah anywhere near that school. And Pampas stopped when she got to my desk. "This is Steve," Pampas said. "He's the smartest kid in the school." Because Pampas was named for a heavily populated region in South America, I trusted her opinion. Kidding. I initially reacted with incredulity. There were hundreds of other students. There had to be someone in this school smarter than I was. I looked around the room and saw most of my classmates giggling at the teacher having AIDS. Okay, so maybe I was overestimating my contemporaries.